Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Devin here. She channel. Beauty is her name. Keep watching. I want to show you how I came up with this goddess lock look, and as you can see right here, I'm coming on and my head looks a little crazy. Well, I had a pre-existing style which was some twist that I used the rubber band method on, and I washed it in that style. And so now I'm going to go from that style into my Bohemian goddess locks, or what you'll see I named the Journey Smollett look when she was on Eve's Bayou. I really liked that look and I thought it was quite cute. This is meant to be a little disheveled and unkempt in the look, but still beautiful just the same. So,
So,
so if you look at the style right here, um, like I said, I went from already a previous style and then I washed it. And so, what I want to show you is my way and my method that sometimes I use when I'm too lazy. So, this could go with the lazy girl way, but I call it the smart or convenient way myself. And I think that, many people should try it like this. It's a lot less um, pain in the whole sectioning. And that's the shampoo that I use. I found it at Ross. Uh, I use all kinds of things. So right here, what I'm doing is showing you this method that I found. Um, I think the YouTuber that I saw this from, I think her name was Brianna Nicole, um, but I could be wrong. But she tried this. She had this crochet method, and she came up with like three different ways of doing it. And I found that this is the style, or this is the way that it actually worked for me. So what I'm doing here is I crochet the hair in between the part, and then I'm going to braid it down together and have the crochet just inside of the braid while I'm braiding, and then I'll start twisting. So she also called this a bristing method, and I would say that's what it is, because you braid for a good part of the way so the crochet doesn't move, and then you twist the rest of the way because ain't nobody got time for that, right? And as you can see, I started the twisting because this can be a long, tedious process, and the whole point was to make it less work. That's why I washed it within its style and went from that to doing the next style, because I didn't want to take a lot of time. Now, for a lot of people, they could probably move way faster than me. This style, the completion of this style took me about a total of 4 hours to do. And as you can see, the crochet is not going anywhere. And so now I'm going to use the method that I thought was most beneficial for me, which is called the hugging method, or some people may call it the wrapping method. I like this hugging method better than the method where you slide the hair through the middle, because the crochet hook kept getting trapped for me, and then also it seemed to take more time doing it in that way. So I like the wrapping method. My hair was able to slide in there. Those are small, kind of small locks. I thought that I could do a little bit bigger sections, but it's okay because ultimately the look itself I really love, and I truly have gotten quite a few compliments on this look. But you're just seeing it at its bare at the beginning. And like I said, it's meant to look a little unkempt. So this is not the distressed lock that we see where it's kind of a fatter braid, or the butterfly lock. These are Bohemian goddess locks, or I'll just name it the Journey Smollett. And so it looks a little thinner, the lock itself. And I got these locks back when I was at home, maybe almost about a couple years ago, and I never used them. And so this is actually a 1B and 27 lock, goddess lock. and I got it from the local beauty store there because it's way cheaper in Louisiana than it is in Hawaii. But now that I've started ordering hair on Amazon, that's my new best friend because here everything's way more expensive and you get less hair in the pack. But I think they're trying to do better, but it's also the cost of living here. So they have to ramp and amp everything up. But unless I need a right now style, I'm not going to my local beauty store for hair anymore. I'll tell you that. So what I did was I wrapped the hair, and as you can see, it looked a little spacey, and it's not meant to be super neat. I just wanted to be able to do a style, but I'm gonna go back here, and you'll see me tightening up the wrap because I'm just closing in those gaps a little bit because it easily slides up the hair, and so that's the look. And I'm just doing individuals across the front of my head, so it's like no more than two in, and that's the way the lock looked originally, and then this is how it looked when I wrapped it around my hair. So I lost some of the wave, but I think that'll be part of the appeal of this look when I complete it. So I lost some of the wave, but it still looks really good. And I'm just going to move on to the next. So what you'll see happen is I came back after I took out one of my twists, and I'm just going to go through the method of detangling it real quick. So I'm using my detangling concoction. I'm not necessarily going to tell you what it is that I used, but a good portion of it is water, and then I had some other things that I used, and I'm possibly going to start selling it. And I'm using my easy detangler brush. I actually got it from one of my friends for my birthday, so shout out to Chandelin for getting me that hair tool. I actually like it. When I first saw it, I was a little scared of it, but I think it's a really good tool to use because I usually use my big afro brush, and that's not it right there. That's just I mean, I said afro brush, but afro comb. But that's just a regular big comb. That's what I call it right there. But I have a bigger one that has longer teeth. Everybody, y'all know what I'm talking about. So right here, all I'm doing is showing you, walking you through it from the beginning. And out of each one of those twists that I took out in the front, I made them into two twists. And so right here is I had already separated it into two twists or two sections. And now you'll see me separating it again because I grabbed the crochet hair and the crochet needle, and I'm actually right here trying to part it, but I don't necessarily need a perfect part, so that's why you don't see me go back through trying to make it perfect, because again, like I said earlier, this is supposed to be less stress, so ain't nobody got time for that, trying to make it extra cute. Plus it's locks, so why does it need to be a perfect line? So what you'll see here is I'm looking at it, but I need to put a little moisturizer on it. So I use what I use on my hair, which is activator gel. I really like it. Ever since I've gone natural, I found that this is the best product to make my curls pop and then also to moisturize my scalp. So I really love it. I pretty much swear by it. I don't really like to put oils and stuff in my hair. I prefer the activator gel. The oils break me out faster. I have real sensitive skin, and you can't tell so much now, but when I was a kid, my whole forehead and the side right there by my ear used to be broke out really bad. So thank God for growing up. So here what I'm doing is, as you see, I'm going from the back part where I split it because I think it looked better when I crocheted it to the back half because it looked like it was coming directly out of the scalp. And all I'm doing is putting the crochet hook on there and sliding all of my hair through the hole of the crochet hair. And then I'm sliding it up the base of the hair, and what I'm going to do is you see it just slides up and down. But I'm actually gonna go in and start doing the wrist like I said earlier. So I'm going slower on this method. I'll try to speed up the video. Honestly, this hairstyle took 4 hours. I recorded 2 hours, but I'm only giving you about 30 minutes of it. As you can see here, I'm trying to hold the hair in place, so I had to put it in my mouth. I don't know. Some of y'all might use clips, but I'm old school. It's what's available, and at that time, I had to trap it right there. And so I'm gonna start braiding it, or I braiding it down, and then after I get to a point, I'm gonna start the twist, which there is what we call the wrist. So I'm just twisting it the rest of the way down because as you can see, I do have a little length on my hair, and so it gets frustrating to try to braid that all the way down. And if I was trying to do a whole head, that would really be frustrating to me. So I just braided it part of the way, and then I'm twisting it the rest of the way. And then the method out of the three that she showed, the one that works best for me will be the wrapping method or hugging method, where I just kind of open up the twist and start wrapping it around. And I did that to the whole front as individual braids or individual locks. And I think it came out quite nicely. Again, it's not meant to be super straight. And so now what I'm doing is where I took the section of the twist down, and as you can see, I got a little braid peeking out over there on that side. Um, I'll show you a little bit, but that's my individual locks right there. And then that's one side where I braided it. And I am a braider, so I'm able to just braid it. But for those of you that are not braiders, you can use rubber band method. You could twist it back as long as you keep it snug. So what I did was I already detangled that section of my hair right there on the side after I took down the twist. And I actually have already combed through it. And I actually even put my activator gel on there, but I'm just showing you how the easy detangling brush goes through it, because that shows you that I detangled it. Because even though that hair look like it's pretty, that hair can get pretty nappy. Some people don't like that word nappy, but I use it. I've used it my whole life. I'm from the South. That's how we work. But I'm able to just braid the hair in a cornrow or just braids, whatever you want to call it. Depends on where you're from. Some people call it cornrows. Some people just call it braids, but or scalp braids, whatever. But I'm just braiding my hair back. And so what I'm actually going to do is it's going to be 4 braids back there that I'm going to use to actually do the crochet onto. And the reason this video is a little longer than probably a lot of YouTubers when they do their videos is because I wanted to show you the methods that I used a little in depth. And I'm very deliberate about my parts back there not being a straight line, because how can it look like true locks, or I know that most of us like a whole neat look, but I think the appeal of this look is for it to not be neat, to be a lot more unkempt. And as you can see, I'm brushing or combing through the bottom half, because when I get to the end, I like to comb through it to make sure that the hair don't get tangled, because it seems that that happens when you braid your hair down towards the end. Even when you're braiding weave hair in, it tends to get a little tangled at the bottom, so, or matted or something. So I like to make sure I comb through, because I've already combed the whole thing through, but that's me combing through just a little bit further. And so I braided it all the way down. Got that braid going. I'm going to turn around and show you my two of my braids, and like I said, it's going to be four back there, um, to make this look the way I want it. And don't come for me about my hair. And as you can see, the bottom, it looked like it's real naked back there, but I got it shaved a while back, and it didn't really grow back, and I probably shouldn't have shaved it, but that was my attempt at an undercut without going all the way in. But I never had an undercut. I've had it cut off, not straight bald. But anyway, I digress. Here, what I'm showing you is my hair in its twisted state. And don't come for me, it's a little matted because I did wash it in the style, but it's not super matted, just like any hair would be when you wash it. If you have this curly stuff, it get a little tangled in there. And with me going from a previous style, and again, this was the rubber band method twist that I originally did. And so all I'm doing is trying to separate it into what I feel like is a good half without it being, like I said, a good perfect part. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just hand parting it right there, making it even. And I think what I came up with was like 5 on one side and 6 on the other, because I know I had to have at least one more braid on one side than the other. And so that's what I'm doing right there. So I'm just finding what is what makes it a little even. And I'm going back through one last time, and I'm just showing you how I parted it. And if you see at the bottom, I kind of left out one of the braids, but I'm going to go back through it and find it. There it is. And so I'm actually going to start on that side of my head. So over here on this side, I'm going to actually twist it up out of the way so I can start on the other hair. Let me know in the comments if you like this long video of my method or not. If you want them to be shorter, I'll figure it out. I haven't figured out how to edit super short, but I can edit. And so all I'm doing is twisting that and moving it out of the way. And I learned from the first 2 braids that I did that starting from the bottom is the better method. And so that's what I'm doing, is I'm taking that hair down, starting with one of the back ones, and then I'm just going to comb through it. And if you notice, when I braided the 2 ends, I actually left the hair down. I needed to move this out of the way, so I'm going to wrap it up out of the way. And as you can see, I just finished a 3rd braid over here, and then I'm going to finish my 4th braid. And the end of the crochet, you'll see, like I said, at the end, you'll see a method that I came up with that I thought would be more beneficial for me for this look. Because we know when we do crochet, we usually pin the hair up, we stick it into the other braid, or we braid it in, or we crochet it in, we sew it down, we do so many things. But I decided that I didn't want any tension. So I'm doing the braid, and then I'm leaving it hanging freely. I'm not putting it in a ponytail or anything like that. And so this is me braiding it all the way down. And again, that's the 3rd braid. I still have one more braid to go. And if you could see, I'm looking at the camera kind of crazy. It's getting late, but it's not super late. I started this hairstyle at about 8:50 at night, and it took me about 4 hours to do it. That's the crochet and individual crochet as well, and braiding and taking the hair down. So it took me about 4 hours to do it. I know, some of us, we could have a faster time, but that's me. I crocheted it all in, I did all that, and I'm showing you I still have the 4 left. So I'm going to show you this method that I came up with that I thought was actually quite an intelligent thing. So what I'm doing now is, you see my hang time happening right there. I'm just showing you where the braid ends. And I'm taking my crochet needle and one of the pieces of crochet hair. Now, if I had been smarter when I was doing this process, I might would have started a little bit further up, but I decided to go more towards the end of the braid. But what I'm doing is I'm crocheting this one piece of individual hair at the bottom, but I'm not stopping there. What I did was I crocheted at the end. You see where my hair is and where the crochet hair begins, right? And then I had some hair when I did passion twist, maybe like a year or so ago. I used this Jamaican bounce hair, and it's in the same. I think 1B27 is a color that I tend to go for. I think it goes well with my skin complexion. So I really liked it. So I take this Jamaican bounce hair and I kind of, as you can see, it's kind of a little frizzy and stuff. So I'm just trying to smooth it out just a little bit, and put all the pieces together, because I use one whole piece of Jamaican bounce hair. It's really soft, so that's why I get tangled so easy. And I'm only taking the end of it, you see, and leaving one side long. For those of you that do distress locks, I'm pretty sure this is a method you use when you use the hair, when you do the hair and you start wrapping it. So you see I put that at the end, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to crochet the Jamaican bounce at the base of the braid. So I take my crochet needle and I go right in towards the middle of it, and I'm taking just the end of the hair where it's small, and again I'm smoothing it out, and I'm putting it on the end of my crochet hook. So I call this the Devon method, and all I'm doing is pulling it through. I was like, why don't we do this? Now mind you, this is going to make the braid or the lock a little bit fatter, but it's under the bottom, so I don't care. And to me, that helps with the effect of the lock look. Locks are not always perfect symmetry. I think it looks cuter when things are not even a lot of times. So I like to go that route with a lot of things, not just hair. That's my creative side of things. And so all I'm doing here is I'm wrapping the Jamaican bounce hair around the the braid, and I'm going to do that all the way through. And again, this is not sped up because I just want you to see the total process. And so all I'm doing is wrapping it down all the way down. And so this is real time wrapping, as you can see, because it didn't it didn't take super long, but I didn't move super fast either. But as you can see, the lock is a little fatter, like I said earlier, but I think that's the look of it. I'm not really going for the distressed or butterfly lock look, but I'm going for a more natural look, so it really has a combination of the two. And again, this I call the Devon method, where I crochet the lock at the end of the braid, and then I'm wrapping the hair, and what I'm going to do is have them meet. I'm wrapping it all the way down, and if I had have been thinking, I would have made this part just a little bit more hair down at the bottom, but I'm going to wrap it all the way down. I'm going to cover up my hair completely. And so that's why it's taking so long towards the end, because the hair got thinner, and I'm just trying to make sure that I wrap up all my hair. just do this all the way down. And yes, it's taken a long time, but I think it came out really cute. So that's just me wrapping it up. I'm trying not to leave out any of my hair. The only hair of mine that's out is whatever's on the scalp. Everything else is covered up. And when I show you this style, I didn't make it super dense to give it a more natural look. I didn't make it so big as much as it is more natural looking. And so I really loved it. And all I'm doing is going back over the hair after I keep wrapping it. I'm just trying to make sure that it met to the base of the braid. And I'm still just wrapping. Took a little time. But there you go, just almost finished. And that was just me making sure that I covered up all the hair. So I call this the Devon method again because I crocheted the hair at the end and then I use another bit of hair at the top. And now I'm just rubbing it like you would do a lock normally, and kind of like you would do the distress lock. It comes out a little fatter, but like I said, it helps the look more natural to me. The reason I said earlier, if I had been smarter, I would have came a little further up because it comes out a little bit longer. So the four in the back, they come out a little longer. And then now what I'm doing is, with the Bohemian look, you crochet or you put in strands of curly hair. Now I saw where some people said they didn't like it because, well, for one, because they put a lot of pieces in. And so what I did was I sparsely placed curl hair, and it's just the Jamaican bounce hair in random spots, more towards where the crochet was and in the front, just to cover that look up a little bit, to cover for the transition, but not too much. And so that's what I came up with. As you can see, I'm still going to put a few more pieces in, and I'm just going to show you what I did. At first, when I first started, I actually did it right in the middle of the curl hair, like I split it in half, but then I was like, for a more natural look, I think it would make sense for me not to go right in half. So what I did was kind of did like I did when I did I know that was a lot of dids, but how I did the crochet when I did the wraparound. So we're going to have to count all those dids, huh? But I crocheted in and brought the hair through unevenly, like I said, to come with a more natural distressed look. And a lot of people gave me compliments, and so it is cute. It's manageable, it's light, it's airy, and I really loved it. So I hope you guys like it, and just let me know what you think. I only used maybe like three, no, two pieces of Bohemian lock hair. No, I used like 5 sections of the Jamaican bounce curl hair. So one per each one of the braids that I had at the bottom, and then I used like one or a half of one for the individual curls. So what do you guys think? How do you feel about it? I think I really love this hair. So I've decided that this is actually going to be one of my signature looks that's going to happen. And I'll come up with different ways to make it happen, maybe even a little faster. So this is my method of doing Bohemian Goddess Locks, or the Journey Smollett look from Eve's Bayou. And I am rocking this hairstyle right now. And again, the appeal of this hair or this style is for it to look a little unkempt. So I believe that I accomplished that. I'm just gonna show you, and like I said, I didn't make it super dense so it looked more natural. And if you can see, my the root of my hair is not slicked down, for one, because I don't like using uh, jam or anything like that. It gets caked up, and even right now while I'm showing you what I do to my edges, I'm not slicking those down either. What I actually do is I use aloe vera gel instead of jam or edge control, because I don't like that stiff look. I like more of the natural, like if when you were a kid, how your hair used to sweat and lay down just a little bit. Um, some people other than better than others, because mine didn't lay down like that, but I still liked the look of it. And so all I'm doing is just going over my edges, and using the aloe vera is actually quite good. And so that's what I do. It gives me a little pop of curl, especially on my end pieces. And I just use it right there. I don't do anything on the base of my hair but the activator gel. And activator gel, if you know, is not stiff. It's not anything like that. It's just moisturizer and help your curls pop. So that's what I like. I like that look. So I'm just showing you the look. And this is how it came out at the end. And I actually found that I like wearing it down more. I don't pull it into a ponytail, but you'll see for the first look when I come back on camera is that I actually pulled it in the front for the first day, but I changed my mind after that and wore it different ways after that. And I'm just turning it around, showing you what I did, showing you how I filled it in. And like I said, I didn't make it super dense, and mind you, it's just done, so I have to move it around a little bit more. But I liked it. I love it actually. And I'm gonna show you what it looks like if I was to pull it up so you can see what it looks like in the back. I'm just showing you, you could go in with your edge brush. You see that little fairy knot, or no, that's actually a rubber band attached to that, because I had the rubber band method, it got it attached to that. But that's me with the aloe vera gel rubbing that down. And I really like the outcome of it. I think it went with my face quite well. And I'm just trying to play with it, figuring out what I like best when it comes to it. And you see, that's the one of the locks that I did. And so if I should I choose to pull it up, I could. Because it's wrapped around, I just, move it a little bit, but I could do that and don't have to worry about the tension of pulling my hair in a way. You can see the braid a little bit, but who looking that hard? I love it. So this is my morning routine. I actually have my bonnet on, and if I had been paying attention, I would have made the camera come up a little bit further. But before I show you what I do in my hair, I'm just putting my moisturizer on, because I don't wear makeup like that. I do like my eyelashes, and I might put on some lip gloss, and every once in a while eyeshadow. But for work, nope, I just wash my face, put on my moisturizer, and keep it going. Um, so really, when it comes to a face, I just get, the eyebrows waxed and stuff, and get the eyelashes done. Pluck whatever stray hairs that need to be plucked if they show up, or get the top lip waxed. But I don't do the beating of the face, because I just don't. So right here, I'm just showing you, I'm about to do my edges again, so I'm putting a little more of that aloe vera gel. And like I told you before, when I was younger, I used to break out really bad right there. And I only learned this because I've gotten into making some products for me, that using the aloe vera gel really works for me. And if I sweat, it's just going into my skin, and aloe vera has healing properties, so it's only helping me, it's not working against me. And so that's just what I did to my edges. You can see I got my big bonnet on, so it's huge back there. And I just take it off. And I actually pre-did my hair after I got off camera last night, or the night before when I did it. And so I put a couple of the pieces of jewelry in, and I actually pulled it back. But like I said, I realized I didn't like pulling it up in that ponytail so much. Um, but that was this day's look. I turned the camera sideways, so please forgive me. But that's what it looks like back there. And my individuals in the front. And I'll show you after this other pictures that, or other days that I actually did a different style, and I like those styles a little better. And like I told you, the style truly gets better with time. And if you want to, you can always go back through and put a little moisturizer on it, should you choose later. But I'm just showing you how it looks for that day. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please forgive the angle of this camera right here. And like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you'd like to see. I have my regular time where I pray with you guys, or I tell you some life lessons I've learned, and so I just wanted to add hair to it because I've been doing hair for over 30 years, starting with my own head. I don't really do hair for other people because anybody got time, but this is just another look of how I wore it. And my daughter popped in the back, but I love that. And then that's me getting ready for work. Y'all have a good day. See you next time. Thanks for watching.